Today we are going to discuss about optoelectronic devices. So, in optoelectronic devices, there are two basic principles. So, in working of optoelectronic devices, the two basic principles. First one is carrier generation. The second one is carrier recombination. So, in carrier generation, we know that in semiconductors, the the covalent bond exists in semiconducting materials. The covalent bond means the electron is sharing of electron. So suppose when a sufficient energy is given, let's say, so, so this is a valency band. Above there is a conduction band. So this is your Fermi level. So here electron bond to the atom. The sufficient energy, the energy should be greater than equal to the energy gap between the valency band and conduction band is given to this semiconductor. So electron, the shared electron is free from the bonding, move from valency band to conduction band. Okay, here the covalent bonds between the atoms will be broke down. This principle is called, we are calling it the carrier generation. Due to the breakdown of the covalent bond, one electron is moved from valency band to conduction band. Here one hole is created. Okay, an electron is into jump to the conduction band. This principle is called carrier generation. Okay, so the carrier generation, the examples of the optoelectronic device are photodiode, pin diode, avalanche photodiode, solar cell. Next, carrier recombination. Carrier recombination. So the carrier recombination means the electron move from conduction band to valency band with emission of energy. Emission of energy. So the carrier recombination further divided into two types, non-radiative and radiative recombination. Non-radiative recombination is occurs in normal PN diode. Okay. Radiative recombination occurs in LEDs and laser diode. Further, laser diode are divided into two types, homojunction laser, heterojunction laser. So we'll discuss one by one briefly. First, the direct band gap and indirect band gap semiconductor. Minimum of conduction band, maximum of valency band lies in same case space. This type of materials we are calling it as a direct band gap semiconductors. Next, minimum of conduction band, maximum of valency band does not lies in same case space. Same case space. This type of semiconductors we are calling it as a indirect band gap semiconductors. Examples of indirect band gap semiconductors are your normal silicon diodes made from silicon and germanium. So next is LED. LED light emitting diode. So which convert electrical energy into light energy. So input we are giving is light. So sorry, input we are giving is voltage or current. The output we are getting is light. So construction of LED. LED, the basic construction is first we take a substrate. On a substrate, a n-type semiconductor is deposited and over which p-type, a small area of p-type semiconductor is doped. So in top and bottom contact, metallic contacts, and at bottom of the substrate, at bottom of the substrate coated with a reflective material, reflective coating. Okay. So working principle is when the electron comes down from the higher energy level to the lower energy level, the energy emitted from the photon. So the photon energy is equal to the energy gap between these two energy levels. So once the basic principle of the LED is, we can also say after minority carrier injection, after minority carrier injection. So what is minority carrier injection? So this is p-type, n-type, p, n. In n-type semiconductor, holes are minority. Similarly, electrons are minority in p-type. Here your depletion layer exists. So the minority carrier injection occurs after threshold voltage only. After threshold voltage. So after threshold voltage, the minority carrier injection start. So holes are injected into N region, electrons are injected into P region. So electron lost their energy, they move from conduction band to valency band. So here, okay. So here, so electron lost their energy, they move from conduction band to valency band. So the energy is emitted. This is the basic working principle of LED. Next, the different LED materials we are using for different color emission. The VA characteristic curve of LED different here. This voltage we are calling it as threshold voltage. Okay, after threshold voltage only the light start emitting. As the voltage increases, applied voltage increases, intensity of light is also increases. So these are the different colors, VA characteristic curve of different kinds of LEDs: blue, orange, red, IR. So LEDs we are using in displays, digital displays, traffic signals, and burglar alarms. Next, advantage of LED: the cost of LED is very less and they are tiny. We can control the electricity by using LED bulbs. Next, semiconductor laser or diode laser. First semiconductor laser was introduced in 1962 by two US groups led by Robert N. Hall at the General Electric Research Center and by Marshall Norton at IBM, T.J. Watson Research Center. So during the forward bias of PN junction diode, so electrons are injected into P region and holes are injected into N region. So and they combine with each other. Due to the combination, the radiation is emitted. Okay, then we are calling it as a radiative recombination. So these emitted radiation stimulate other electrons to move from conduction band to valency band, or this stimulates the recombination. This recombination causes stimulated emission of radiation. This is the basic principle of laser diode. So laser, the abbreviation of laser is light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. Okay, for amplification of light, we required the stimulated emission. So the first stimulated emission is proposed by Albert Einstein. Now, what is the difference between LED and laser? So laser is a monochromatic light. Next, coherent light. highly directional and the output power also very high. Compared to LED, LED is a spontaneous emission. Incoherent light, it is non-directional and the output power of LED is also very low. So basic requirement with laser is population inversion and stimulated emission. So the population inversion means more number of electrons should be uh, present in conduction band compared to the valency band. We know that the valency band is completely filled with electrons and conduction band is empty. By sufficiently doping, more number of electrons can be available. So by sufficient doping, we can achieve the population inversion. The stimulated emission, the stimulated emission in that in the diode laser. So once the photons are emitted due to the recombination, these photons causes de-excitation of these photons causes further radiative recombination. Next, optical resonator or Fabry-Perot resonator. So well polished, one side polished surface, another side rough surface used as a optical resonator. Okay, in that optical resonator, the purpose of this optical resonator is to amplify the emitted photons and increase the photon density. Increase the photon density. So the semiconductor lasers are further divided into two types, homojunction laser and heterojunction laser. Homojunction laser, if the laser diode is formed with same material, both p-type and n-type semiconductor is with same material. Suppose example, n-type of gallium arsenide and p-type of gallium arsenide. Then this type of semiconductor laser, we are calling it as a homojunction laser. The heterojunction laser means a gallium arsenide semiconductor is sandwiched between any p-type of gallium aluminum or n-type gallium aluminum. Okay. Next, the heterojunction laser further divided into two types, double heterojunction laser and single heterojunction laser. So first homojunction laser, we are taking the p-type and n-type semiconductor of gallium arsenide material. One side is rough surface, other one is polished surface. They act as a optical resonator. So this gallium arsenide material is a direct band gap semiconductor. Here the PN junction diode junction act as an active medium. So the applied voltage is used for the pumping scheme. So in case of homojunction laser, the output beam is 8400 angstroms. Here the energy level diagram. Once that after threshold voltage, the electrons are moved from N type to P type, and here holes are okay. They start recombine with hole. During the recombination, what happened? Automatically, covalent bond is reformed. So this is VA characteristic curve of both laser and LED. The compared to laser output power, the LED power is very less. Okay, so you can see the differences between the laser power and LED output power. Next, a double heterojunction layer, heterojunction laser diode, single and double. So in case of single heterojunction layer, the p-type gallium arsenide material is sandwiched between n-type gallium aluminum arsenide and p-type gallium aluminum arsenide. Similarly, in case of double heterojunction layer, so here double heterojunction layer, n-type gallium aluminum arsenide and p-type gallium arsenide is sandwiched between n-type gallium arsenide and p-type gallium aluminum arsenide. Here we are using both are the direct to band gap semiconductor. In the schematic diagram indicates where is the active region, both the polished surface, rough surface. So in between the polished surface and rough surface, the laser beam is amplified and the photon density is increases. So this energy level diagram of heterojunction laser, single and double. Comparison of homojunction laser diode and heterojunction laser diode. Advantages of this diode laser is they are lightweighted and portable. The battery supported and easily replaceable. Capability of direct modulation into gigahertz region, small size and low cost. Compatibility with optical fibers. Next, disadvantages. Due to the relatively low power production, these lasers are not suited to typical laser application. The temperature affect greatly the output of the laser. Beam divergence is much greater as compared to all other lasers. Cooling system required in some cases. The application, the major application is used in optical fiber communication only and optical storage. So without diode laser is no internet present. Next, solar cell. So now, so solar cell is a optoelectronic device. So solar cell which convert solar radiation into light energy through the photovoltaic effect. So the solar cell are fabricated from silicon with increasing efficiency and lowering cost as the material is range from amorphous to polycrystal material. Okay. Here you can see the arrangement of the solar cell. The solar cell mainly consists of three layers. First, the back junction layer. This one is back junction layer, and here it is absorbing layer. This is anti-reflecting layer. And the top and bottom, we're taking the electrodes. So there is a VA characteristic curve of solar cell. Here, the maximum power point, the area. So the area under this curve gives the maximum power efficiency. So this area gives the maximum power efficiency. And here the short circuit current, and it is open circuit voltage. In short circuit current, the voltage V is equal to 0, whereas in case of open circuit voltage, your I is equal to 0. Next, photodetectors. The photodetectors which converts optical energy into electric energy. In case of photodetectors, the basic principle is carrier generation. Okay. The three major photodetectors are photodiode, pin diode, avalanche photodiode. The first photodiode, in photodiode we are in photodetectors we are connecting the diode in reverse bias only. So the semiconductor photodiode is reverse biased PN junction. When a small amount of biasing voltage is given, so the thickness of depletion layer is increases. So due to the motion of minority carriers causes reverse leakage current. When light is radiation is incident on the diode, so the electron hole pair is generated. So without application of light, the small amount of current is produced. This current we are calling it as a dark current. So the one of the major drawback is this dark current is major drawback of this photodiode. So due to the biasing voltage we are giving, The purpose of the biasing voltage, it causes the motion of photocarriers in a one direction. So when the intensity of incident light increases, the reverse current is also increases. We cannot connect the photodiode in forward biased. The forward biased, we didn't get any output. Okay. Next, pin diode. The converting efficiency of the normal photodiode is very less. The dark current is also one of the drawback of the photodiode. To avoid this, the one more diode, the constructor that is called pin diode. Pin diode means the intrinsic layer is sandwiched between both p-type and n-type semiconductor. So due to the wide intrinsic layer, the thickness of depletion layer is also increases. So when a small amount of biasing voltage is given, the thickness of depletion layer is very wide. When light is incident on this pin diode, the the photo carriers will be generated. Applications of the pin diode is the high voltage rectifier, RF switches, photo detectors. Due to the wide depression region, reverse bias need not be varied. The small biasing voltage is required, and the dark current is also reduces, and converting efficiency of this diode is very high. Next, one more important photodiode is avalanche photodiode. So the basic working principle of this photodiode is impact ionization. The impact ionization means, suppose when light is incident, when light is incident on the diode, the electron hole pair will be generated. So due to the applying the biasing voltage, the electrons in a depletion layer gain enough energy and they collide with the rest of the atoms, causes emission of more photocarriers. Emission of more photocarriers. This principle we are calling it as a impact ionization. The impact ionization is the basic working principle of avalanche photodiode. Okay, the construction of this diode is here, the one intrinsic layer, one p-type semiconductor is sandwiched between p-type and n-type semiconductor. So this is the VA characteristic curve of avalanche photo detector or photodiode. So this avalanche photodiode, which it can also sustain for higher breakdown voltage. The breakdown voltage of avalanche photodiode is more than compared to the Zener breakdown voltage. So this is about your today's lecture. So I am ending the class now.